I come to when I just want to go for a quiet swim. No music, no noise, just peace. And well, while I was here a few days ago, I had a seat on the grass up top and just looked at all the leaves and all the trees and thought to myself, damn, why can't I make a video that peaceful and relaxing? And then of course I thought to myself, well, I can. So let's try and enjoy that together. The beach is just down these stairs. Oh, there's a raccoon here. It's a little baby raccoon, kinda. Oh no, you don't have to run, dude, it's okay. Don't attack me, please, I'm just a baby boy, too. So this secluded little beach is just down these stairs and around the corner from where our little baby raccoon is hanging around. But before we get to the beach, we're welcomed at this little quiet, flower-covered area. And I sat down a few days ago just over there in the distance and looked up at the trees and just enjoyed the peace and quiet. I don't know what flavor of flower this is, but it's blooming quite beautifully, and there's a lot of it for the little bumblebees to enjoy. Let's go all the way. So, this is it. The angle's a little different, just because the sun's in a different spot. Because it's a little after 8 and the sun's going down. But at least that means we might get a beautiful little array of sunset colors. What kind of bug is that? It almost looked like it was floating on a web. This place is exceptionally quiet right now. Around this time of year, there's typically a bunch of bikes ripping up and down the road, and sea-doos, boats, really showing off their loud engines. But I think they got my memo. I sent it out to everyone, so they should have gotten it. And they're keeping it nice and quiet for us tonight. I googled, or I guess I should, I AI'd a few weeks ago. When's the best time to record outside? It said around this time, because birds love to sing in the morning, and while the sun's still out in the evening, they get quite So, I think AI was right. Here we got some guys in the distance asking for a change of the camera angle. Guys, relax. I'll do that right now. Brought my brand new tube of bug and mosquito repellent. Well, I'm a big fan of nature. I'm not at all a fan of mosquitoes, ticks, and everything in between. But I'm realizing now, I didn't need this. I don't see a single mosquito in the area. And yes, that might be because this is working pretty good. But if I look in the distance, I don't see any little buggers flying around either. So I don't think that's it, unfortunately. I would like it to be, but it's not. Oh, I just saw one. Okay, time to get a couple spritzes out. It was on my elbow, so we aim for the elbow. I made the mistake of spraying this. And then, oh, the raccoon's back. I made a mistake. I think he's just looking for a friend. Why is he alone? Why does he look so little? Back to the mosquitoes. I made the mistake of spraying this in the bathroom earlier. And it really got in my lungs. I don't think you're supposed to do that in a closed space. Even right now, the scent is quite pungent. Can you see the sunset colors on the tree? It's always tricky to show that kind of stuff. It doesn't always show up perfectly on camera. Although it is kind of my job to do it right, so let's see. We'll do it live. Oh, he's making hissing sounds. Yo, I think he's gonna square up. Look at this. He doesn't even know I'm not a black belt. This is more interesting to me. He just keeps looking over. Hello. Buddy. He's like a lion. He's trying to pounce. I am friend. I am not enemy. We can be friends. Okay. I guess he's a little camera shy. Maybe he thinks I got food or something. Let's go back to trying to get the sunset colors that I state are so difficult to capture. It's tricky because it's too wide like this, and it's too bright and too dark. I think this is our best bet of getting the sunset colors. And then if we zoom in a little bit, we might be able to... Oh yeah, you can definitely see that. You can definitely see that. That's kind of the exact shot I wanted. Here, I'll face this way, even though you won't be able to see me at all. At least this way I'll be able to keep an eye on our friend, and maybe I'll be able to capture him when he takes a look around here. Oh wow, that is so wide. So there's no way to physically light myself here. But that's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It can be something a little chopped like this. Maybe I could even show you the sunset behind all the flowers. That's gonna take some precise engineering, I tell you. Incredibly, incredibly precise engineering. Let's wait a little bit, because the colors should get even nicer as time passes. It really feels like this year there aren't that many bugs and animals out and about. I think the high temperatures are making them a little lazy as well. Like there's one mosquito, and he's trying right now, but I don't think he likes the pheromones I'm putting off right now. He is getting pretty close, so let's spritz up. You can always have more spritz. There's nothing wrong with more spritzes. Oh, we got our first Honda Civic. That could be BMW as well, though. I don't want to sound ignorant. It could. A very, very, very delicious aroma, indeed. There's a lot of pine needle trees out here, but they're not thriving very well. It looks like many of the leaves, not leaves, many of the branches have snapped off, which is unfortunate. some thought with a few of my neurons. And I'm starting to wonder if he was down by the water getting a drink when I showed up. But his actual home is somewhere deeper in the woods over here. So he was just trying to take his little trail that more than likely he even made. Humans probably didn't make that trail. And he was just going down his trail, minding his own business. And there I was, sitting smack dab in the middle of it. So I don't know if he's watching from a distance to see if I go, or if he's changed his mind and is going to be sleeping in the backyard for the night. But either way, there's only one way to find out, and we pinky promise not to take up too much of his time. Lately, I want to say the last few years, there's been so much wind during the day. I'll bike to work in the morning, and there will be no wind, dead. I kind of wish there was some wind. And then I'll be biking back later in the evening, and the wind is colossal. It's probably what knocked over all these limbs and tree twigs. But it'll push me so hard that going downhill feels like going uphill with the wind pushing up against me. And then interestingly enough, the wind completely whoosh, disappears again right around 7 or 8 o'clock. And I'll do some research and leave it in the description because I really am curious if wind is just created because the Earth's spinning. Why does it go away in the evening? Why does it care? Or is it the warm sunshine that excites the wind and causes it to thrash so violently during the day? We do get wind at night sometimes, though. Say there's a storm, you'll get some pretty gnarly wind at night. But if there's no storm, almost no wind in the evening, which is great because I'm very anti-wind. I don't know if you knew that about me, but wind is not good. I've been looking into a bunch of channels that build homes from the ground up, like raw material, basic fundamentals of building those homes. And there's one channel that really shows how important it is to get everything set up correctly right from the start, because it really doesn't take that much wind against a solid wall for it to get knocked right over. I feel like that is a sound of a type of cricket. Oh, and we also don't have any crickets right now. We usually don't have too many, but there really are none during this time of year. Sometimes the cicadas can be pretty noisy as well. But yeah, I think it's not cicada season. I think we've missed cicada season by a little bit. This is, oh gosh. It is natural 12-hour insect repellent. Its only ingredient listed is icaridin, 20%. It blocks and repels mosquitoes and ticks for 12 hours. And repels black flies for 10 hours. It was made in 1951. Beautiful year. It's unscented, no perfume. one has a nice little plastic cap you can put on. So I'm hoping that solves that issue. It was quite warm today. You could probably tell by the sweat on my face being reflected right now. But it dropped pretty good. We're at like 26 degrees right now. Very, very, very humid. But if you're at home right now, hopefully your climate control is running at a cool 22 degrees. Why 22 degrees? I'm glad you asked. 22 degrees is the most average temperature. Most cars default to 22 degrees on the climate control. It's also a temperature that us people, us humans, find quite comfortable. But back at home, we got it set pretty high. I like it at like 26 degrees. So it only turns on every while. It's because I like the heat. It's cold all the time, and I complain about it. So when it's finally warm, I like to embrace it. And then, very, very key feature of the climate control is the dehumidification. So even though it is pretty warm, when it turns on every while, it does remove quite a lot of the moisture from the air. And that does most of the heavy lifting as to why it feels pretty warm. Which, if I could give you another random thought, it's weird that humid air feels hotter than dry air, dry heat. And I say that because if you want to get cold really quick, what does the human body do? It sweats. It sweats, right? It covers itself in liquid. Liquid transmits heat better. Boom. So why would air that's already moist not be transmitting heat better? That's for highly trained engineering students, thermodynamic students to explain. And for me to think about, peacefully watching the sunset from behind the little pine trees. Almost a year ago, I made part of a grass plucking video over here. That's a video I've wanted to redo for a while. Not because it was bad, but just because, like, it's such like a peak idea of like performing that little menial task. But it also makes a pretty good sound. Here, take a listen. This isn't quite grass. I don't know what this is. Tried that video with the really high-tech mic, and the high-tech mic is great. It makes great, or it captures great sounds, but it's not as mobile. And I feel like haven't used those in quite some time. They're really good as studio microphones. But if you want freedom, oh baby, this peak freedom, I've been looking into trying out a 360 camera, because they've gotten really, really good. You gotta remember, I've had like GoPros since 2016, so a decade ago, to make videos. And they have changed so much. And 360 cameras, they got background blur and really good quality video now. And the idea of just like having this thing and being able to hold it and move it anywhere without getting in the way, and then getting the shot, even if it's not 100% 4K Ultra HD, super high quality, is still more appealing to me. So maybe I'll look into it. But take a good look. It is getting quite dark. In lieu of my safety, I might get out of the woods a little early. Not that it's dangerous out here or anything, but you never know. There's quite some critters out here. A few animals. We've had bear sightings here. And, you know, if you respect nature, it'll respect you. Plus, it's getting a little too dark. I don't think you can see much of anything anymore, apart from a big white spot right here. Maybe if we get you tilted over here, it would be a little prettier. But either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the raccoon enjoyed my presence.